All right, our next presenter, he's standing right here, Abraham Cambridge. He's founder and CEO of the Sun Exchange. Had the fortune of seeing him speak in Singapore. He's got a great presentation, so let's give it up for Abraham.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, so the last session of the day, I will buy drinks for everyone who can get some more people in. But I think the drinks are on Michael, so I don't need to. Okay, everyone. So when Satoshi Nakamoto wrote the Bitcoin white paper, it was done so in order to transform and re-levelize the financial sector. But what about the other pillar of society, being energy, the thing that underpins everything that we do in our everyday lives? And whilst we still rely on centralized energy generation, particularly from fossil fuels, we're still stuck in the Victorian era. We have built a system that converts photons to electrons to crypto to create solar-powered money. Now, if you look at this, is this not working? There we are. So our civilization has actually just crossed an absolutely monumental technological tipping point. We can now produce electricity directly from the sun more efficiently and cheaper than through burning fossil fuels. We're becoming a solar-powered economy. A well-optimized solar panel can earn a 15-20% return without government subsidy. But for most people in the world, owning solar panels is an impossibility. You either don't own your own building, you live in a location where solar energy is unfeasible. Well, through Sun Exchange now, anybody on Earth can now own a solar panel that's located in optimal locations, the sunniest places on Earth, providing low-cost electricity at no upfront cost to businesses and communities and schools in emerging markets, and from them earn an income stream paid in Bitcoin. And to make it open to everybody, we've broken down solar panel ownership to a single solar cell. It's around $5 per cell. So now in increments of $5, anybody can own a part of a solar power plant that's operating in the sunniest places on Earth. And we stream their income in Bitcoin. And we actually act as an on-ramp for people who want to own Bitcoin but feel they've missed the boat and don't want to invest directly in it. Now, by owning a solar panel through Sun Exchange, they then secure a 20-year income stream paid in Bitcoin. So here's how it works. This is a very slow delay on this. Okay. No, we missed that. Sorry. Oh, no, there's no. Okay. So the users of the electricity are in places like Africa. There's 650 million people in Africa without access to electricity. And solar power is now the cheapest and fastest way of electrifying not just whole communities, but whole countries. So countries like Saudi Arabia are now going full solar. But for most businesses and communities in these countries, it's actually not possible to, because the access to finance is not available for these projects. So we identify these projects and onboard them, and then offer them to people who live in cities like Dubai. You know, the Dubai government are encouraging people to go solar, but most people live in apartments, so it's impossible to own a solar panel, even though the government is encouraging them to do so. Through Sun Exchange, you can now own a solar panel on someone else's roof. This remote is really dead, just so you know. Okay, so here is how to solar power your money. So you visit thesunexchange.com, you sign up, and we'll perform a quick identity check. You choose a solar project where you wish to have your solar panels deployed into, and you place an order and tell us how many solar panels you wish to own. We generate you an estimate of the lease income your solar panel will earn you, and people all around the world are buying the solar panels in a particular project, which then get expertly installed, fully insured, and we take care of all the long-term lease agreements, all automatic through the platform. You can then check your Sun Exchange dashboard, you can check your earnings, you can get live project data, and you can just sit back and earn monetized sunshine to wherever you are in the world. And the example here is we're working with Dubai Solar Schools in the United Arab Emirates, distributing Bitcoin to people all around the world who own solar panels in these projects. Okay, so we don't do the installation. We're the marketplace. We're the infrastructure that enables the connecting of solar panel owners to projects. We've partnered with some of the world's leading solar installation companies. So IBC Solar have been manufacturing and supplying solar projects since 1984. So as long as I've been around, these guys have been around doing solar. Saventics operate globally in all emerging markets. They're a German headquartered EPC company. They're one of our main partners in South Africa. Other partners, Conco basically built the transmission grid across African nations, and they're one of our project implementers. So just to show you actually in context what these plants look like, this is the first project that we did. This was the Stellenbosch Waldorf School. This was the world's first Bitcoin-funded solar power plant, and it's been powering a school for 2 years. This is a tyre recycling factory in Johannesburg. This is a climate change NGO in Cape Town. That was an elephant park, and this is a 10-kilowatt microgrid powering 200 homes in Kenya entirely from solar power that previously never had electricity. And these projects are being enabled through Sun Exchange. So you've probably seen or heard of a lot of energy trading platforms on blockchain, and I'm extremely skeptical of them because it's a winner-takes-all scenario. And they may have proved pilots in some localized locations, but peer-to-peer energy trading is an absolute impossibility in most countries in the world, especially in countries like South Africa where you still have a state-owned utility. Our point is getting energy to exist in the first place, creating the infrastructure that can produce electricity, not just trade surplus energy between grids, and that's if you're even allowed to. So the key difference between Sun Exchange and peer-to-peer energy trading platforms, you get direct ownership of the solar asset, and that's really important because you can claim the carbon credits, you can claim tax depreciation allowances, tax depreciation allowances on it because it's hardware. Anyone can use it today. Within minutes, you guys could be owning a solar panel in a project through Sun Exchange, and I don't think that should be underestimated how important that is when looking at energy platforms like this, where a lot of them are still ideation or ideas. This is operating. It's scalable globally because this is basically hardware leasing. This is not trading of energy, this is just leasing of equipment from one person to another. We have our own rewards program, which I'll get to in a moment, and of course we support Bitcoin because it's the most liquid cryptocurrency, and we all can't ignore the fact that if people don't use Bitcoin, the whole sector is doomed. So that's why we're supporting it. Okay. So the SunX token. So we've launched our own token. We have a platform. It's built. It's operating. Why create a token? Number one, it's to grow our user base. By offering a token, we're growing the people who use crypto. We're accessing users who use cryptocurrency that then introduce to the platform. And in doing so, anyone that owns SunX gets discounts when buying the solar panels, and they can stake them into the world's first solar project insurance fund for emerging markets. So part of the use of proceeds through our ICO is to seed this insurance fund, which people can stake their tokens into that they've earned from the platform or bought through the ICO, and they get paid a 20% return while staking into this insurance fund. They will also act as the fuel for trading solar cells on a secondary market when that goes live. Okay, so this is just a quick video, just shows how it actually works. So you would, hang on, is this another one to press play? Okay, so you basically look at the map and you can choose where you want your solar panels to go, click on the rooftops, and as you do, you accumulate SunX for doing certain things. So it's fully gamified, basically. So you get rewarded for regional diversification, infrastructure diversification, to hitting power generation milestones, and as you accumulate SunX, your membership tier increases, just like an airline would do into the rewards program, and then your discount level goes up. So any accumulated SunX, you've got them, but then you can choose optionally to stake them into the insurance fund, which then self-insures your solar projects, but also the whole collective of the Sun Exchange members are also then protected by staked tokens. So we've got a supply of 266 million tokens, just under 267 million tokens. We've got a hard cap of 88 million. But let's not forget that the use of proceeds is going to be used to seed an insurance fund and to pre-finance solar projects. So people often ask us, how are you going to utilize 88 million? Well, we build hardware. We get hardware built, and we're also creating an insurance fund. And that's why we have such a high hard cap, but it is arbitrary. It ends at the token ICO is open now, and it ends on the 31st of December of this year. It's $1 per token, but thereafter, in order to get a SunX token through the Sun Exchange, through the rewards program, you get issued one SunX for every $10 spent. For any OTC purchases above $100,000, we're giving a 40% bonus and a 50% bonus above 300. We also have an equity round open for a seed investment, and any equity investor will also receive a 55% bonus on token purchases. Its jurisdiction is in Malta. I thought I'd add that in. And we've sold 2.4 million tokens to date. The ICO launched in June, beginning of June. So in terms of the actual distribution, so for every token sold, we keep some in a reserve, and the reserve is there to issue through the rewards program, and also to issue for rewards for the insurance staking. In terms of the use of proceeds, so business development, 20% into the insurance fund, 26% into solar project pre-finance, and we're also giving a 30% reserve for taxes, because we're importing solar equipment between jurisdictions. We don't want to be stuck and not be able to cover tax when we're actually moving equipment, and we don't know what's in the future, so this tax reserve is there for future if tax implications cause us issues. This just looks at how the staking rewards compare to other top staking tokens. So, I mean, NEO, 5.5% returns whilst you stake your NEO for your gas. If you stake your SunX, you get 20% return, but that's if there's no drawdowns on the insurance. And this is the timeline. So the company was formed in 2014 through the Microsoft BizSpark program, and the first solar project went live in 2016. We then through the Techstars program, and we've built another 5 solar power plants since then. And the pre-sale ran last year, and the ICO ending this year, but the Solar Project Insurance Fund gets triggered in Q1 2019. Now, the Lightning Network we are implementing next year to enable real-time transactions between the solar power plant and the solar panel owners. So you can now think that we're converting, as I said at the start, photons to electrons to crypto in real time. We're literally streaming monetized sunshine around the world, and that's all down to the ability of doing infinite transactions per transaction on the Lightning Network. And then lastly but not least is our security token. We are going to be tokenizing the solar panels so they become a yield-based security cryptocurrency. So this is going to be called the SunX solar cell-backed security token. We're not selling this at the moment because this is still in the pipeline. This is being worked on and built and developed. It's going to be an equity token. And this is what it's going to be once it's in operation. If we've got sound.
What is a SunX token? Each SunX token is linked to an actual solar cell in a Sun Exchange solar power plant. It could be powering a school, a factory, or a whole community in one of our rural microgrids. For each SunX token purchased, you own the solar cells it represents. Unlike most digital tokens, SunX represents a physical object, so there's a minimum value, and they are tied to an ongoing revenue stream. Sun Exchange is equipping its solar power plants with additional pay-for-use services, such as provision of internet access, water purification, and cryptocurrency mining, all powered by your solar cells. As rental income accumulates, you will gain ownership of more solar cells at no additional cost. This compounding effect will drive continual economic and environmental transformation. The simple act of purchasing SunX in this token sale event will have a ripple effect into the coming decades as whole industries and nations become solar powered because of your involvement today. This is your chance to own an ever-growing part of the planet's clean energy infrastructure. SunX tokens will be tradable on major cryptocurrency exchanges, so you can cash in the value of your SunX token and solar cells. First participants are rewarded with an up to 40% bonus. That means 40% more tokens to reward you for your early participation. The earlier you join, the higher the bonus. Be part of the future crypto solar-powered world. Join Sun Exchange today.
So yeah, there we go. So do suggest visit tse.thesunexchange.com and get involved. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Anybody have questions? Cool presentation. Anybody have any questions for Ed? Yep.
There's actually a couple more slides. I'll just quickly go through. So these are our investors, and so our partners. We've partnered with Barclays in East Africa for piloting, trialing our systems with housing finance as well. We've partnered with the United Nations Development Programme to trial this in Eastern Europe. And we're also piloting with Rootstock for doing smart contracts on the Bitcoin blockchain for the automated payouts. Also a member of the Energy Web Foundation, part of the Rocky Mountain Institute, doing standardization of proof of solar asset so that the industry knows that our solar plants actually exist. The core team, you can check that on our website. Our advisors, Max Kaiser, Stacey Herbert, Michael Turpin, Richard Titus also is an advisor, and Danny Kennedy is the president of the California Clean Energy Fund. And there we are. That's just the final slides. Thank you. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, question.
The insurance staking, is that insuring the asset, the actual physical asset? Is it
it's actually it's a very, very niche insurance product that's for one specific purpose, and that is to relocate the solar facility in the event of a consumer lease default. With our projects, the biggest risk is in the event of the person stops paying for their energy and then having an abandoned solar plant. So this insurance fund is to cover the cost of relocating it and redeploying it in the event of a consumer default. But bear in mind that the people using the electricity, their only alternative is more expensive utility electricity or no electricity at all. So that's the incentive for them to keep paying in the first place.
And the insurance is done in fiat, not in crypto.
The insurance is, if we have a whole document on this that explains how it works. It's a smart contract, but it's actually backed by traditional financial instruments that support the value of that insurance fund, and also an element of token value as well. But I have a whole document on explaining how it works, and I'll share it with you.
So if I buy a solar panel and then it stops producing, the insurance pays for
no,
relocation?
that's covered under guarantees. There's a guarantee and warranty on the solar production. Yeah, that's by the manufacturer.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not to do with the insurance. Yeah, that's a power guarantee, and that's on the module, and that's from the manufacturer of the module.
And so there's a guarantee on the production of the energy, but not the payment of the...
It's a guarantee on the amount of electricity a solar panel will produce given a certain amount of sunlight. So what we do is model the amount of sunlight it will produce, and we give a probability factor on it producing that much electricity.
So the risk is that there's more clouds in that region, and then...
Well, we put them in South Africa where you've got twice as much sunlight as the UK, and the UK's got 8 gigawatts of solar. Then this is it's the whole of the emerging markets.
And you have some sort of model that attaches each project and its production of energy to your specific token.
So each specific project is under a lease, a 20-year lease between that solar power plant and the end consumer of the electricity, and that's tied in local currency. So they're paying a local currency for the electricity. We receive it, it goes through the local cryptocurrency exchange. That's how we get the crypto out. So in South Africa, we're working with Luno. And our whole platform is integrated not just with the solar power plants, but also with the cryptocurrency exchange. So as electricity is produced, it then buys Bitcoin from the exchange.
Okay, so my token is a percentage of all the tokens connected in a blended return, even though I'm...
Is this the insurance or in the solar power plant?
I'm trying to understand the token. So.
Okay, so the SunX token is the rewards token, and that's just earned as you use the platform. So the lease of the solar cell and the earning of the Bitcoin, that's an entirely separate set of transactions. That's just business as usual. But as you buy solar cells, you will earn and accumulate SunX. And as you do so, your membership tier increases. And that gives you discounts and bonuses, which effectively increases the return that you're getting when you do elect to lease solar panels.
Okay.
And then you can also stake the tokens.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, my name is Dima. I'm here from the Arloyd Group. My question is that you said that the biggest risk is that if the consumer will stop paying for the electricity. Mm-hmm. So there are countries in the world where the feed-in tariff is guaranteed by the government. Mm-hmm. So why are you going to the South Africa but not there?
The countries where that has happened, Spain retrospectively applied a solar tax. In the UK, guaranteed feed-in tariff, they wound it back. So we just don't trust or rely on government subsidies. If we need a government subsidy for a project to exist, it's an artificial market. We just don't do those projects. We put solar power plants where there's enough sunlight that it works on completely its own merits with no involvement from the government whatsoever. So even an unsupportive policy or regulatory regime, our solar projects will still flourish.
But like for me, the government guarantees are more reliable than just
Have you ever met the
keeping
South
the
African?
risk.
Have you ever met the South African government?
Maybe not. But this is my question: why going to the South Africa, but not the European countries where you can have it guaranteed by the government?
Because the utility system in South Africa is corrupt and broken. So you're buying coal electricity off a broken utility, supporting corruption. Or you can now go solar and put solar behind your meter and just stop using the grid. And that's the alternative. So it's a better solution. Embedded solar generation is better than the alternative in emerging markets, and especially where there isn't even a utility system. So our solar-powered microgrids are energizing villages that currently don't have any electricity at all.
Thank you.
Cool. Anybody else? You sure? All right. Well, great presentation.
Thank you,
That was
everyone.
nicely done, yeah.
Thank you.
And thanks for being last also, by the way. Nicely done. All right.